Where the Red Fern Grows, The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, I, Houdini, Sideways Stories from Wayside School. This chapter, we took a look at what some of our listeners were reading in their early years and invited them onto the program to discuss them. On this episode, we don't thank or even acknowledge them as we cover the film and TV adaptations of these stories, as well as create our own AI-assisted stories on this short and sweet installment of Reliterated, Reiterated. Chapter 8. Let's talk. Welcome to Reliterated, Reiterated, the episode where your favorite lowbrow book club discusses the books we read in the past few episodes, cover what we missed, and discuss this latest chapter as a whole, as well as talk about whatever we want. As usual, we give you the fair warning we use language too mature for kids, analysis too immature for literary scholars, and ignorance too profound to be inoffensive to everyone. I'm Andy.
I'm Harold.
And I'm Josh.
And guys, the public has been wanting to know when the fuck our next episode is going to be, and I say it's today.
Yes.
Sure. Sounds good.
I can't walk down the street without getting pestered, saying, "Hey, is Reliterated dead? Are you guys breaking up? What's going on over here?"
I've received almost double digits of emails about it.
Almost double digits?
Almost double digits. Off by 8.
I have had to clamor in my house. I haven't left my house because of all the public just pawning at me. Like, when is it gonna happen? I'm like,
I bet the helicopters are circling your place with the spotlights.
I mean, there's
just
definitely
know
helicopters.
when you're gonna get busy on this next episode. I heard the first royal decree of the King of England after he was crowned said they must perform a new podcast episode.
Well, now I feel like I don't want to do it. Fuck that guy.
That's my King George.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
fuck that guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm into that. Why do they exist?
I'm like, screw you, King George. We're gonna do it anyway.
Right.
Because they're rich. Duh.
Yeah.
That's
No,
why
I mean,
they have what they have.
It's
Because
just
they
a
stole a
weird
bunch
thing.
of. They stole everything that they have from other people, and now that they're like, oh, this is ours.
it's crazy.
What's the joke? The pyramids. The only reason the pyramids are still in Egypt is because the British couldn't figure out a way to move them to Britain.
You're right. That's true.
Anyway,
So.
Speaking of giving into demands, this chapter was all reader suggestion books.
It was.
Yeah.
A whole chapter of stories we
fun.
read because other people told us to.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
They asked nicely.
And they're the people that we love.
Yes.
The ones that listen to us, they give us feedback, and they say, hey, wouldn't it be great if you guys did an episode on this? And, maybe I can join you on the show. And we're like, yeah, shit, yeah, we'll let you on the show.
Or, hey, do you want to come on the show? Oh, I guess that sounds fun.
Or, hey, do you want to come on the show? Guys, I can't make it. Also, you didn't even choose my book.
Who does that?
Yeah, right?
That's not even my favorite book. I didn't suggest that book.
That's not the one I wanted.
We can fix it. We can fix it next chapter. We'll read the right Goosebumps for him, and then
Right.
it'll be good.
I don't know if I said it on the show, but like Janelle and I went full like detective mode to go to like the episode of Matt and Mark's podcast where Mark specifically said Reliterated should do an episode on The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight.
Did you
But
find
he
it?
didn't specifically say that it was his favorite.
No, he didn't say it was his favorite, but he did suggest it. We kind of said, yeah, this was Mark's favorite Goosebumps book. But no, there was a moment. I mean, Matt was telling a story about like being in the countryside and like going, like I think visiting his grandparents in the countryside. And Mark was like, yeah, Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, Reliterated. You should do that shit.
Okay.
So we took it and ran with it as a
Suggestion.
listener suggestion.
It's still a suggestion.
Yeah.
Still a suggestion.
It still counts. At the time I said it in their chat, I was like, that counts as a listener suggestion. And they said, yep. So, yep, we did it.
Nice.
Yay. Wish we could do more of them. Hint, hint.
That's Mark from the Matty Ice and Mike or podcast.
Yep.
He
Mikey Mike.
Mikey Mike. He his
back
favorite
and Marky Dude.
His favorite Goosebumps book is Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. Confirmed. So
And I forget which one he actually said it was.
Night of the Walking Dummy or something, I thought he said. No,
it wasn't Living Dummy.
Was it The Haunted Mask?
Maybe. I'll have to go back, but he said he'd definitely join us for that one.
All right,
when we
sounds
decide
good.
to do it. So yeah, we'll make up for that missed opportunity there, Mark. Speaking of Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, we took a chance to watch that episode. And guys, what'd you think of it? I mean, the episode of the TV show from the 90s.
That was, it was interesting, I thought.
Yeah. There are some different changes. Like the scarecrows appeared terrifying. They looked very scary, just like on the cover. But then when they actually got involved, they're made of hay. So it was really not hard for them to beat them senseless.
No.
They really did play up the fact that they were like stuffed clothes, like straw stuffed clothes where their limbs were coming off pretty easily and their heads were being knocked off pretty easily. So they looked terrifying.
I even commented that it would kind of be awesome to have scarecrows that attack you every night, that you could just beat them up and practice because they were really slow and easy to fight. Really kind of not really a danger at all. But they did look scary. They actually did, I thought, a good job of making it look like the scarecrow from the cover of that book.
Yeah, definitely did. And at one point in the episode, we could see like the inside of Stanley and Styx's trailer that they live in on the farm. And next to the TV that has an NES on top of it, which Josh pointed out, I saw that they also have a ninja sword, like a katana just sitting right there. And how cool would that be to just like practice your sword skills on moving scarecrows?
You could actually probably get pretty goddamn good, make your own style that no one even knows about. You know.
Also, I think I feel attacked. I grew up in a trailer and I didn't have a ninja sword. Not everybody who lives in a trailer gets cool weapons. I mean, I think I did have nunchucks, but I didn't have a ninja sword. So
I didn't have a ninja sword when I was a kid, but my dad had ninja swords and stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you have a trailer?
No, it was in a house.
See, I had a trailer.
Yeah.
So I was more similar to that family where the dad
trailer
and the son lived
too.
together in a trailer like me and my dad did.
But yeah, as far comparing the episode to the book, it's tough to say which was. It was pretty close in level of like how spooky it was versus how much tension there was. It was clumsily acted.
Oh yeah, it was awful. The acting was terrible,
as to be expected in like 90s kids TV,
for
whatever.
Sure.
But
and the son, he just kept calling them city kids. You city kids shouldn't be here, and I was just like, but it's their grandparents.
Yeah.
But it's grandma and grandpa's
They come
farm.
here every year.
They have every right to be there.
Yeah, it's weird that you don't want them there.
They have more of a right than you do to be here.
But
He didn't
I'm
talk
telling
like that
you,
in the book, did he? I don't recall him talking like that, saying like, you city kids shouldn't be here. You don't belong here.
I think he said it one time, maybe, but
kind of poked fun at them for being city kids, but
yeah,
he didn't say that they had no right to be there because their grandparents fucking
Josh.
farm. Come on, his name is not Spike, it's Styx. Equally
Styx. Yeah, Styx. Stupid
Maybe
name.
Spike could be a little cooler. I don't know.
Yeah,
Spike is a dog's name.
The dad appeared, as Josh said, more like a convict, like a pedophile convict, than a slow person.
Yeah,
as they described him in the show.
The way Stanley was staring down the grandparents as they were trying to like cover for the fact that they weren't acting as normal.
Right.
Like, those eyes are just like dark and piercing and very, very murderous hobo or
they're kind of bulging
hitchhiker.
too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the actor definitely was creepy. He did a
the
good job
casting,
for it.
whoever was casting, they casted the wrong
They cast it
profile.
too hard.
Yeah, it was a bit much. Even like he's like, cherry pie's my favorite. And it's like, eee.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm sure it
cherry pie,
is, sir. I'm sure it is.
Yep.
I think it's weird that they changed it from so instead of killing them with fire, they kill them with a thresher, aka a combine.
Yeah,
and,
probably cheaper effects.
And it was red, but it didn't say international, but I'm pretty sure it was an international.
Now-
And
when the book didn't end with the Combine coming to life, did it?
No, the bear came to life. That was the second point I was going to just bring up was at the end, he mumbles words and the Combine itself comes to life and starts coming after him like a Stephen King Christine type of event.
Yep.
And that would be way more gruesome. I don't know actually what would be more gruesome, if a grizzly bear attacked you or if a Combine got you. They're both horrendous.
They both sound awful, and
they are both terrible.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though: the bear in the book, the bear was already inside the house.
True.
In the show, like the Thresher was outside, and everybody was inside the house, and it was just kind of driving towards the house. So if it like crashes into the house, it's gonna do some property damage. But they probably had enough warning to back away from where it's gonna hit the wall.
Sure, and then it's really not going anywhere from there. Probably
it was a weird cliffhanger.
Unless they take out like a load-bearing wall. You've guys seen Gremlins? See what happens when they drive that tractor into that weird looking guy's house? Just knocks down the whole house comes down.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit a load-bearing wall, that's true. But I feel like even then, the Combine would be stopped. They could run out the other side. The Combine wasn't nearly as scary as the Scarecrows. And once you found out the Scarecrow's arms just fall off, the Scarecrows become like target practice. This could be fun.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, not that scary.
I could see it having been scary if I was a kid, though.
It was definitely more frightening to see them moving around the way that they were than to picture it the way it was described in the book. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, with the people like actually in the costumes moving around, like that was kind of creepy how they got them to move around like that.
And one of them just tackled the girl off the bike.
Yep.
Like, dang.
I thought they did pretty good cuts as far as when they were cutting off arms or cutting off heads. Like, I wasn't looking at it beforehand going, oh, that's a fake arm, or it was like boom, it was switch and boom, they were hitting the head. So I thought the cuts were pretty good. I was like, that's pretty nice.
So did you happen to watch Where the Red Fern Grows, Andy?
I did. Okay, so I watched, first of all, the 2007 adaptation of Where the Red Fern Grows. I have a few notes.
How was Dave?
Dave Matthews is not a strong actor, yet he was one of the stronger actors in the cast. The whole fucking cast was pretty miserably stoic, I'd say. I mean, it does take place in Oklahoma and the Ozarks, but still, nobody looked like they wanted to be there. Billy's mom was probably the worst of all. Like, she just stood there and looked like a hot supermodel, and not much else.
Billy's
there was some
mom's got it going on.
She had it going on, and she had she has kind of the look of someone with Cherokee heritage too. So I don't know if that's if she was going for that whole stoic Native American thing, but
do you really think Dave Matthews is going to go for anyone less than a 10? It's Dave Matthews.
Yeah, no, he probably picked who was going to play his wife.
Just because hippies go to his shows doesn't mean he's going to date them.
Yeah. However, there was a sad lack of Dave Matthews music.
Oh. They could pay. They could afford the actor. They can't afford for his catalog. They couldn't afford his music.
No, but the music they had was just kind of generic bluegrass and some like awkward country songs. The song that plays at the end, at the beginning of the end credits, was so awkward. It was like meant to be about like nostalgia for the good old days, but it was a song about how the singer wants the kind of love that their parents had, because that kind of love doesn't last anymore because divorce rates are so high and bullshit like that. It's like, take me back to the good old days where I love you meant forever and yada yada.
where a man could beat his wife and she couldn't leave him,
Yes, where a woman was too afraid to leave her abusive husband for the optics of how it looked or what the church might say as to whether she'd get into heaven.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know that I wouldn't hear the song, but I don't know if it's 100%. I mean, that there is the whole like, yeah, people used to, but they didn't stay together that much back 50, 60 years ago either. The divorce rate then was still pretty fucking high.
Oh yeah, because we're old. Fuck.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, but the story takes place in the early 30s, so...
Oh, does it? Okay.
I mean, yeah. And that being said, like, it made it easier to see why kids would have been making fun of Billy for being, like, shoeless and in his backwoods clothing, because, like, the town of Tahlequah looked way more modern than I pictured in my head when reading the book. Like, things were paved, and there were cars driving around and shit, and everyone had shoes and was more or less nicely dressed. And it still didn't make sense that they would be laughing at a kid carrying a sack with a couple puppies in it, but still.
Right.
Here comes this dirty little barefooted boy out from the hill, from the forest, walking around this the civilized town of Tahlequah, Oklahoma.
Well, remember, the people that stayed were the people that still had money. All the rest of the people had to move west trying to find work because the Dust Bowl.
Mm-hmm. And did some kid yell at him, and then he was like, "You don't deserve that haircut."
Oh, I wish there was a line like that.
I mean, is that like a backhanded compliment?
You don't deserve that haircut. Yeah, that's a nice haircut, but
your haircut's so nice you don't deserve it.
It's wasted on a prick like you. Yeah.
Wow.
Omri,
you son of a bitch.
That takes me back. Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, the movie itself was, I mean, there was a lot of like cuts away to animals with like no people in them. Like it
cuts
was
away to
pretty,
dogs fucking.
Yeah, pretty shoddy editing.
Like, what is this? What is going on here?
Like you can tell like when the action was supposed to be ratcheted up for like animal violence. It was really at when the movie was at its worst, because you had to have read the book to understand what was going on, first of all, because they're not just going to show animals ripping each other apart,
right?
And they're not going to show a little boy getting an axe in his chest.
They didn't have that part?
They did have that part. I'll tell you what happened. First of all, I'm going to preface it with this. The 2007 movie was basically a one-for-one remake of the 1973 movie. Like, there are scenes of dialogue that is just 100% match.
Okay.
And I've seen that like, one. So
yeah, plot points that weren't in the book, like the whole motivation of like the family wants to move out to like Vermont or wherever the fuck because this uncle is getting rid of some business and they want to buy it up or whatever. But it's like one for one. They reused the script to make 2007. There are some differences, mostly in like the key points of the ones I really honed in on were like the Pritchard, the death of Reuben Pritchard, and the fight with the mountain lion. Now, in the 2007 film, Billy goes up to like the roof of this like covered bridge to find where the ghost coon is hiding himself. And for whatever reason, they wanted to skip a whole lot of dialogue or something, but Billy pretends that the coon is long gone because like he doesn't want to kill it or whatever, but he doesn't say that. It leaves it up to the viewer to draw that conclusion, which will be easy to come to if you've read the book.
Right.
And if you haven't, you're shit out of luck. But like Billy is up on top of this roof there. And the Pritchard boys are down on the ground, and they see that their dog's gotten loose, and that Dan and Ann are going to the dogs are gonna have a fight. Reuben has the axe. Like it doesn't really explain why he has it, or I missed that point or whatever. But he already has the axe, and he's going to go stop the fight by killing Billy's dogs. But he like immediately trips and falls on the axe, like out of frame. He falls down. You can like falls out of view from behind like the roof of where Billy is. And if you don't know that the axe is in Billy or in Reuben, you don't really get what just happened.
Okay, but he dies.
Yeah, but he dies. and Billy feels responsible. Now, if we go back to the 73 version, the scene plays out completely different. Like Billy has the axe on his belt. He has the hatchet on his belt, and he says he's not going. He did spot the ghost coon up on the top of some structure. I forget what it was, but the Pritchards say, "Oh, we should kill him," and Billy refuses. Says, "Just give me the money," and they get into that disagreement, and they start fighting. The Pritchard boys hold down Billy, and they're gonna like choke him to death or whatever, mess him up. All the while, their dog, Blue or whatever its name is getting in a fight with Dan and Ann. So while they're fighting Billy, the younger brother spots the dogs fighting over there and sees that Dan and Ann are going to kill their dog. So Reuben grabs the axe from Billy's belt and makes for the dogs, but Billy reaches out and trips Reuben, causing him to fall on the axe. So in this version, he's way more responsible for his death.
For sure,
but it's like this. It's the same kind of guilt, feeling of culpability, same resolution for two wildly different treatments of the scene. And remember, in the book, like, Reuben just happens to trip on a stick that God put there or whatever to get the axe in his chest, meaning it was more of a pure accident.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably the biggest deviation from the book's plot, other than the whole competition at the end. In both versions of the movie, this rich dog owner who's won like the past couple competitions winds up winning again because Billy only manages to get one coon skin before his grandpa falls down and breaks his leg or whatever and goes missing, and it's a storm and they have to go back for him or whatever. But they did manage to like tree 3 other coons but not kill them. But the rich guy who wins the competition with 3 coonskins, he had heard that Billy wound up treeing the coons and then going back for his grandpa, which, you know, makes him an honorable man. And it does, you know, you gotta put
I guess
your grandpa
old, right?
first before winning a competition. But he decides to give up his win to Billy. So
fiction.
And Wilson Rawls was involved in the screenplay and everything. So this was a change that I believe that most likely came from the author himself.
Okay.
But it was a pretty big deviation where Billy doesn't like save his grandpa and manage to win outright. So.
Well, that's because he didn't have God in the movie.
Oh, no, God was everywhere in the movie.
Oh, was he?
No, I mean this may have well been produced by a Christian movie production house, whatever.
Their movie after this was God's Not Dead.
Right, director of God's Not Dead. But then there's the mountain lion at the end. It was, first of all, you know how like in like the 70s, whatever, you can get away with more, not abject animal cruelty, but you can display more. You can get away with more depictions of animal violence and whatever. So that resulted in like there was more of a fight between the dogs and the mountain lion in the 73 versus the 2007, where it was like 2 seconds of very violent cutting, cut kind of things, and then it's done, and Dan is dead, and there's nothing you can do about it. And in the 73 version, you do get the whole scene where Dan is clinging to life, and mom and dad are working on trying to fix him up, whatever, before he finally dies. Neither made me shed a tear, by the way, just because it was so clumsy. But and, you know, I'm heartless about dogs and all that. But.
Right.
Yeah. Also, there's
Don't forget that part. Don't forget that.
Also, there's that. But I will say that in like the 73 version, Billy finds little Ann at Dan's grave, and she's not dead yet. Like, she's clearly breathing. She lifts her head to look up at Billy, and like Billy like collapses on top of her in a fit of sadness, and when he gets up, she's gone. So it makes it look like he crushed the life out of her just for lying at Dan's grave. But yeah, I'd give the movies a solid C out of 4.
C out of 4.
C out of 4. Excellent. I like our grading system. Sounds like my old promos.
And I'll spare you guys the whole need to watch Doggy Death.
Yeah, I already did that enough times when I watched. I think it's A Dog's Purpose. Man, cried so much during that movie because it's just dogs dying over and over, and I'm just like, no, why did I watch this? This is a bad idea. So, that's a shame, because also if they would have made it nowadays, they could use sweet CGI animals like in RRR and other crazy Hindi movies that I watch, where down in the corner it says CGI. So that you know.
Yeah, that is it. Because it was 2007, it was like just before they got computer graphics good enough to feel confident in faking dog stuff in movies, like in Call of the Wild.
Yeah. I mean, they already had the scorpion. They already had the scorpion down from the early get-go because they used that in 3,000 Miles to Graceland. Oh, God,
that was a perfect scorpion. You know what was also perfect? one of the best looking CGI things ever was the Scorpion King.
Oh yes, that movie was perfect.
The digital version of The Rock.
Yeah, the digital version of The Rock as a scorpion.
His fucking melting face.
It was just something to behold.
Well, I watched Wayside, a little bit of Wayside. I watched the quote unquote movie, and when I was watching it, I was like, Todd voiced by Michael Cera, really cool. So had some names in this, and it is absurd, but it was funny. I laughed quite a few times. It's just very, very absurd humor, and the style of the cartoon is kind of like Fairly Odd Parents, I'd say, like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
That weird blocky,
sort of,
but still at the same time using all the shapes But yeah, it was pretty fun. Todd is very much the straight man. He in this he transfers from a different school because he was embarrassed because of an incident that happened at his other school. They don't talk about it until they get to where they reveal it. It has to do with kindergartners. So, but yeah, and it's you can find them all on YouTube. So they're pretty fun. I enjoyed it. The principal, his name is Principal Pantswater, and he plays a much larger role than in the books. And then Philip, or is it Philip? The guy that works out on Lewis, the guy that works out on the playground.
After the author.
He's a much different part as well, but he's not like giving out weird random. He's a bigger part of the story. So he doesn't just go give out pearls of wisdom here and there. He has an active part in it. But basically the plot is every time the principal uses his PA system, which he loves, the room starts trash compacting, because it used to be a trash compactor, the classroom was. And so Todd has to figure out a way to stop it, because no one believes that the walls are closing in every time that the PA comes on. But yeah, it was pretty fun. And then I watched the first episode, and they changed the color of Marisha's hair, which was interesting. And Todd is the one that is pulling the pigtails, but not because she has pigtails. And it's not even she has pigtails, she has a ponytail. It's because she's madly in love with him because it's Valentine's Day. And so trying to think of who Dawn is like obsessed with holidays, and so it's for Valentine's Day, so she's making them fall in love. So she's doing all these crazy antics to make them be together. And Todd is trying to not fall into it. And then in the second episode, because they're 15-minute episodes, the teachers are away at a retreat, which is actually a luau party in the principal's office. And their substitute is a cow. So
Crazy.
it's crazy. It's pretty fun. And yeah, I was like, yeah, this is fun. I fell asleep one time. It's fine. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think kids would love it. I think you should show Xander and Bruce and Clark. I think they would really enjoy it. It's very silly. So yeah, or check it out yourselves. It reminded me a little bit like, do you guys remember Mrs. Munger's Class?
Mrs. Munger's Class.
It was
No.
a short on ABC when they were doing this ABC. It was like Recess was on. Trying to think of what other shows were on. Recess is the only one that I remember because it was the only good one. But they would have these little shorts, and it was called Mrs. Munger's Class, and it was these kids, and it was like their yearbook photo, like their class's yearbook photo, and they'd all talk. So it was very funny. But apparently they got sued, and so they can't show it anymore. But you can find them on YouTube, and I highly recommend it. There's a guy named Mahout. It is great.
That kind of looks familiar. I just binged it, and yeah. Who sued them? Like one of the original people in these photos?
Several of the original people in the photos.
Oh, man. They're like, stop using our likeness for your shit.
Yeah, basically because they didn't get permission. And so
that makes sense.
They stopped it. And they did digitally alter them, but apparently it wasn't enough. Because apparently one of the girls, a girl saw her uncle. It was like, hey, look, this looks like you when you were a kid. And he's like, wait a second, that is me when I was a kid.
Wait a minute. Those are my classmates. That was my teacher.
Yeah, basically. So, and then also one of the students, he was portrayed like with a butt weak type of portrayal. And he's like, just because I'm black doesn't mean I'm like that. So it was also that time period. So, but I thought they were funny. They're probably problematic at this point, but I didn't go back and rewatch them.
Man, who does that? Just demand you take some content down because you didn't get permission to do funny voices with it and shit.
Yeah, because it's licensed. But don't worry, we may have found a solution to that. So Andy, with that script, do you think it could have been maybe helped a little bit with some ChatGPT? Do you think maybe doing some rewrites with a little bit of AI might help the process?
That depends. Is the AI going to sue us to have it taken down because we use it without permission? Oh, we should ask if we have permission to share it on our podcast.
I already looked it up, and we don't have to do that. But hey, thanks, Microsoft and everybody at OpenAI, for allowing us to use this software on our non-money-making podcast.
Did we lose Harold?
No, I'm here.
Okay. You haven't chimed in a while.
You guys have been talking consistently.
Now you know how it feels.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Didn't want to make it a thing. You go on, you do your thing, okay?
Oh, man. Yeah, the ChatGPT thing is hilarious to me because so far I've put a few different prompts in to get some stories just so we could try it out tonight. And when I asked if it could write a story, it actually wrote a fairly decent story about a little girl that got a leaf from a talking tree and one day learned the wisdom that the tree gave it.
That's kind of a good story.
I thought it wasn't a bad story.
And that was with like no prompting of the details, just
all I said was, can you write a story?
And then it's like, boom, there's a story.
Here you go. Here's a story.
Well, I gave it a prompt to tell me a story about Josh, Harold, and Andy. And I did give it some descriptors. I told it that they are three middle-aged men who buy a couple of dogs, run away from killer scarecrows, perform feats of great escape, and go to the school on the top floor of a skyscraper.
Nice.
And it gave me a short story.
Are you just telling us that it gave you a short story, or are you going to read it to us?
Do you want me to read it?
I would like you to read it to us, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We're not paying you, though.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do it for the lulz.
Yay.
This is apparently titled Spy Trio Dogs Escape.
Nice.
Once upon a time, there were three middle-aged men named Josh, Harold, and Andy. They were lifelong friends who loved adventure and excitement. One day, they decided to adopt a couple of dogs to accompany them on their escapades. Just one day out of the blue, they decided.
Yeah, why not?
We have escapades that could use dogs. Maybe we'll spot some raccoons. Who knows? As they were out walking their new furry friends, they stumbled upon a farm filled with ominous-looking scarecrows. Suddenly, the scarecrows came to life and began to chase the trio and their dogs. Josh, Harold, and Andy ran for their lives, zigzagging through the fields, leaping over fences and dodging the scarecrows' grasping hands. As they escaped the scarecrows, the trio came upon an abandoned factory. Using their wits and resourcefulness, they managed to climb over the fence and sneak into the building, taking refuge in the shadows. But they soon discovered that the factory was not empty after all. It was actually a secret training ground for elite spies who were performing their own feats of great escape and training in espionage. Josh, Harold, and Andy were impressed by the skills of the spies, and the spies were equally impressed by the trio's bravery and resourcefulness.
Wow.
The spies were like, you know what? You got in here. Good for you, man. After a few days of training together, why don't you train with us? They decided to team up and take on a new challenge, attending a school located on the top floor of a skyscraper.
Man, it's a good thing we got spy training.
Yeah, how they came to that decision, I don't know. The school was known for being one of the most difficult and exclusive institutions in the world. Wayside School is very selective.
Yes.
But the trio and their dogs were up for the challenge. The AI remembered there's dogs in the story.
Yeah, dogs.
Using their spy training, I should have told her that the dogs die at the end.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Using their spy training, they snuck into the building undetected and managed to make it to the top floor. The trio and their dogs studied hard and quickly became the top students in the school. They aced every test and impressed their teachers with their bravery and resourcefulness. Wow, he's got a thing for bravery and resourcefulness here.
That's the two things I hear people say about our podcast all the time is how brave and resourceful we are.
Yep. Every review that we get, every 5-star review.
Wow, so brave and resourceful.
This podcast is brave and resourceful. Just a reminder to rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify.
Yep.
Extra points if you use the words brave and resourceful. But one day their cover was blown and they were discovered by the school authorities. They were expelled from the school and had to flee once again. However, they were proud of their achievements and knew that they would always be remembered as the trio who conquered the top floor of the skyscraper school. The trio and their dogs continued to have many adventures, always seeking out new challenges and never backing down in the face of danger. They remained lifelong friends, and their bravery and resourcefulness inspired many others to seek out adventure and live life to the fullest. The end.
Nice.
I didn't know we had that effect on people.
We do.
I mean, we are brave and resourceful.
We are very brave and resourceful. It must be true. It said so in the story.
Yep, twice even. Like the spies in the facility were so impressed with our bravery and resourcefulness.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I also got an email one time saying that I was a woman of distinction. So
you are a woman of distinction, my friend.
You know, being a male did not disqualify me from being a woman of distinction. So
what stories did you guys get?
I mean, I don't have it, so I just got the one that Harold sent me on Discord. Where there are antics. Let's see.
Yeah, I do have one.
Is it the same one that you sent me?
Yeah, it's the one I sent to it's still sending to you guys. You'll get it probably about 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's still sending.
Yeah. So, okay, this one I prompted it with write a story about Harold, Andy, and Josh. They're 3 good friends that have a podcast and include goofy antics. It's not quite as good as your story. I should have tried a couple other prompts, but Harold, Andy, and Josh were the best of friends. They all shared a love for podcasts and decided to start their own. They called it the Three Amigos Podcast, which we wouldn't have done that. And it quickly became a hit among their friends and family. Every week, the 3 friends would gather in Harold's basement, where they had to set up a makeshift recording studio. They would discuss everything from sports to movies to the latest internet memes. I don't know about the sports. But the real fun began when the microphones were turned off. Harold, Andy, and Josh were known for their goofy antics and prankster personalities. One day, Andy decided to play a prank on Josh. He snuck into Josh's house and switched out all the photos on his walls with pictures of cats dressed up in silly costumes. When Josh...
I would love that, to be honest with you.
When Josh came home and saw that what Andy had done, he couldn't stop laughing. "You got me, man," he said, patting Andy on the back.
That's true. I would have said that, and then they would never have been changed. It would have stayed the cat pictures.
But Harold, it's okay. They were just the pictures from the store. Anyways. But Harold wasn't going to let them have all the fun. The next week, he brought a whoopee cushion to the recording session and placed it in Josh's chair. Every time Josh tried to speak, he was interrupted by the sound of a loud fart. I don't know if the AI knows how a whoopee cushion works.
It's one of the ones like Leslie Nielsen has. It's an electric whoopee cushion.
Oh, okay.
So you press a button and it makes it go off every time. So.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. That would be a sound machine. Despite the interruptions, the Three Amigos podcast continued to gain popularity. Their fans love their banter and goofy antics. One day, they received an invitation to do a live podcast at a local theater. Excited for their big break, the three friends spent weeks preparing for the event. They rehearsed their jokes, polished their sound effects, and even bought matching outfits.
We totally would do that.
We would do that. On the day of the show, the theater was packed with
on
fans.
The ass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Crunchy.
Sweatpants. Say crunchy.
Crunchy sweatpants.
Got to.
On the day of the show, the theater was packed with fans eager to see the Three Amigos in person. The friends took the stage, but as soon as they started speaking, chaos ensued. Andy's microphone kept cutting out. Josh couldn't stop sneezing, and Harold accidentally spilled water all over his notes. But instead of letting the mishaps ruin the show, the friends embraced the chaos. They made jokes about their mistakes, laughed at themselves, and kept the audience entertained. By the end of the show, the crowd was on their feet, clapping and cheering. Harold, Andy, and Josh had done it. They had successfully pulled off their first live podcast. As they walked off stage, the three friends hugged each other, knowing that their friendship and love for goofy antics had brought them this far.
Wait a second. I had 2 pranks played on me, and I didn't get you guys back? That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Dude, you were the last in the line. You told me to prompt it like that.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know I was going to be cut out entirely.
Even bullshit. I put my name first and Andy's name second, and it's still Andy did the first prank, but I wasn't going to be outdone.
I mean, that's true, so.
And you were the one who got pranked all the time. It actually went exactly with what you said earlier. Oh my God. I should have told it the name of our podcast. We'll do another story sometime.
Oh yeah, I see this being a reoccurring segment.
We need to make like a paragraph long prompt with very specific things that need to be included.
Oh yeah, see what kind of nonsense it comes up with.
This is just something we kind of cooked up right before hitting record.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, but yeah, this is pretty fun. I think we'll bring it back.
Yeah, I think so too.
With a little bit of preparation and some matching outfits.
Yep,
for sure.
Crunchy on the ass.
Crunchy on the ass.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so we were just kind of discussing maybe doing like a pick your path type of experience, seeing if we could set something up and doing it that way. That way we can do fun voices again. We can do fun voices and silly antics again.
Yeah, one thing the AI doesn't really do all that well is dialogue, though.
No.
It doesn't like to add characters talking.
Did we ask it to add dialogue specifically?
I mean, yeah. I wonder what happens if you do.
Ooh, I wonder too.
Well, you guys both have it.
We'll play around. We'll play around with it. Bring it back in the future.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So, anything else going on, guys? Anything related to books and knowledge?
Have you guys been reading anything while we've been kind of in a holding pattern for our next one?
I mean, I read the book that we were going to cover.
Yep, so did I. And
I read.
What did I read? Need to read it again because it's been a while.
I read a couple books that we're not allowed to read on air anymore. And there was one that was really weird because it had a lot to do with the Cold War because it was from the 80s.
I just want to say, guys, real quick, because I just decided to write something. I write a story with steamy dialogue. And it tells me first, it says, please note that as an AI language model, I strive to maintain a professional and respectful tone in all my responses. While I can generate a story with dialogue that might be considered steamy, I will keep it tasteful and appropriate for all audiences. And then it writes this story that, like, with stuff like Lily looked up at Max with a sultry expression and said, "I want you, Max. I want you right now." Max's heart raced as he looked into her eyes. He leaned in and whispered, "Are you sure? We can take things slow." Lily grabbed Max's face and kissed him fiercely. "I'm sure," she said breathlessly. "I need you." Yeah, so they fell onto the bed in a tangle of limbs as they kissed passionately. Lily moaned, "Oh, Max, I've been wanting this for so long." Max's hands roamed over her body, exploring every curve and dip. He whispered in her ear, "You're so beautiful, Lily. I want to make you feel good."
Dang, Andy, you might just have to
God damn,
make your own.
Woo, okay. So ChatGPT can do some dialogue.
Yeah, I can do some dialogue.
It's better than some of the novels I've been.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. That's a new revenue stream. Just make audiobooks based on ChatGPT.
Oh my God, it was crazy. That's crazy. However, it didn't want to be too graphic.
Risque. Yeah, you're not going to get a 50 Shades of Grey from it.
Well, hold on, though. Lily arched her back and gasped as Max's fingers found their way between her thighs. "Oh, yes, Max. Yes," she moaned. So, I mean...
It's definitely suggestive.
As he slid inside her, slowly at first, then with increasing speed and intensity.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
All right.
They moved together in perfect harmony, their bodies writhing with pleasure.
Jesus Christ.
As they reached their climax, they held on to each other tightly, lost in the moment. Afterward, they lay in each other's arms, basking in the afterglow of their love. "That was amazing," Lily said, her voice still breathless.
That's 900 times better than the one I tried to write in college.
Bro, I mean, this is not a bad story.
I mean, I'm not hard, but I could be.
Oh, I'm sure plenty of our listeners are hard right now.
Oh, man. Yeah,
or just wet. Oh, yeah.
Just let me know. Just let me know when an AI comes up with the phrase "putting baby batter in the spunk bunker."
Oh, God damn it. I didn't know if you were going to bring it up. Oh, that's so gross.
Good times.
So gross.
Anywho, what else have you guys been up to? I feel like we never talk anymore. Let's just talk.
I mean, I no longer have a job, so I watch a lot of TV. Or not watch a lot of TV. I've been going through Red Dead Redemption 2 again, and it's been very enjoyable. Been having fun doing that. It inspired me to go to Yosemite, which if any of our listeners have the chance, I highly recommend going. It is gorgeous, and you get to see lots of cool stuff. You get to see Half Dome, you get to see El Capitan. I went to see the sequoia, the giant trees, found out that sequoias are different than redwoods. They're in the same family. That's why they look similar. But sequoias are bigger by volume, and redwoods get taller. So I found that out because I was like, what's the difference?
It's also harder to rhyme anything with sequoia.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're super big and gorgeous. And we went on this hike to go see some waterfalls, and it was quite strenuous. We had to stop multiple times, and I was like, am I really this out of shape? Partially. Also, the elevation is much higher there, and so you don't realize that you will run out of breath because there's less oxygen. So, but yeah, super fun visit. Highly recommend going. And well, once it reopens, it literally the week after we went, it was closed due to flooding because it was just getting overrun with water. I had to park in a puddle, so I understand.
Oh no!
Yeah, I had to get out on the passenger side.
Where is Yosemite? Is that in California?
Yosemite, yes, it is in California, and I think maybe sneaks a little bit into Nevada, but it's about 4 hours from Chico, and it's basically an hour. We stayed in Merced the night before, and it's about an hour from Merced and Modesto, so it's super fun. I highly recommend checking it out.
Cool.
So, if you like that stuff.
Which has better graphics, Red Dead Redemption or Yosemite National Park?
I mean, I really enjoyed the real life stuff, and then I was like looking, I was like, that's totally Brandy Weintraub. I was like, that's literally what it looks like. I'm almost positive. And then when I was looking up about it, they're like, yeah, Big Valley in Red Dead is inspired by Yosemite. And I was like looking and yeah, they have all these little purple flowers that look like miniature sage. What is the purple sage? Horse, whatever. So it looks like a type of sage, a small sage, and it's everywhere in Yosemite, and it's all over the valley, and it's super cool. I highly it was awe-inspiring and breathtaking. Took lots of pictures. So
boring.
Yep.
Nature.
Wah,
wah. I got to see a bunch of people's garages over the past couple weeks.
Neat.
That's how I spend my time, is going to garage sales.
I've been, I just started playing Jedi Survivor. That's pretty fun. I'm playing some games.
I do want to play that one.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I can't even say it right now, but something happened tonight. This scenario that will stick out like a sore thumb happened, and I was literally laughing my ass off, and it was intended to be that. It was intended to make you laugh. Nardo? My God. But it was just so fucking funny. Like, the whole thing, it looks like this huge lead up, and then all of a sudden you realize what's happening, and it's like, oh my God. There was something that happened earlier. There's little funny things that happen around the world that if you're not paying attention, you'll miss them.
Huh. Well, I look forward to purchasing a next-gen console eventually and picking that one up. Now, I got to play through Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which wasn't too bad, but I wish I were playing Jedi Survivor.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Yes.
I also got a Star Wars pod racing because it's free with gold right now, and I was like, dang.
Oh, is it?
This game is still super fun. So yeah, it's still fun to play. And hey, I look forward to playing Jedi Survivor when I move in with Harold. So it'll be fine.
Yeah, and then there's that news.
You won't be able to. It's on mine.
It's gonna be in the main room, jerk.
No, oh fuck you! It's gonna be in the main room.
Fine, I'll sneak in. I'll just chill in your bedroom instead. That's way better.
You think I got rid of the Xbox One X? I didn't get rid of it. I kept it.
I guess that can be out in the main room.
Well, I've got two kids. I'm like, they need something.
Yeah, that's true.
They need something, so I think I'm gonna get me some.
As long as I can still go in your room and play, it's fine.
So yeah, there's that bit of news. Josh has decided
to move back to Michigan, unfortunately.
Fortunately for us.
Fortunately for you, unfortunately for me and my psyche, but hey, it'll be fine.
We'll make it worth it. It's going to be worth it.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my family, and I still have my grandparents around, so I'd like to be with them more than less, especially now. So
sure, yeah.
Cause got some news about other family this week, and it hits home, and it's like, yep, this is what's gonna happen. So because the other thing didn't work out, I am going to be moving back to Michigan. So yeah.
So there we go.
Nice.
Bob's your uncle. That's
Bob's your uncle. Josh is moving back.
Rejosherated. And then I get to play the pranks on you two. Ha-ha!
Aha! Check your chairs for whoopee cushions, motherfuckers.
Yeah. More like tacks.
Oh, or thumbtack. Ooh.
Why did children ever do that to teachers? That seems super mean.
Yeah, that's a little sadistic, kids.
I mean, I understand wrestlers doing it, but...
Yeah. Teachers don't get paid enough to put up that shit.
No, they do not.
Ooh, I know. I'll look up for my week of ChatGPT. I'll do a wrestling story.
I'm going to work on prompts until I get the perfect story.
Until you get a good story. All right. We look forward to AI story time on the next reiterated episode, I suppose.
For sure.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So, do we have anything lined up for the next one? I mean, I know that we are covering goblins in the castle.
Yes.
That is correct.
Because I already read it. But...
That is the only one that we know for sure that's going to be included in the next chapter. Whether we tack on a theme to the chapter to go along with it remains to be seen, but we haven't really discussed much further than the next book.
Well, how about we revisit authors that we've already covered series, but we haven't covered like other books, because that kind of covers that. Because we're covering the My Teacher Is a Alien series, and then this is a different one entirely
By the same author, yeah.
What else we had? Well, Roald Dahl, we did the two Charlie books.
Yeah, we could do another Roald Dahl book.
Yeah, why don't we do one of the the witches, because there's a movie we can watch.
Okay, I was gonna
That
say
one.
that or the Twits, just because I love that book. But
Or Matilda comes to mind, because that's also a classic.
That
yeah.
is a classic movie.
With a recent, I think this has a recent adaptation as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
really?
do Matilda.
Along with a musical.
Okay.
I feel
Matilda
like
sounds good.
yeah, let's do Matilda. I feel like that's
Yeah.
more popular anyway.
For sure.
So we're landing on Matilda.
Yep. So
We
we'll
got
do Matilda.
Goblins in the Castle by Bruce Colville. We got Matilda by Roald Dahl.
Bob's Your Uncle, that's chapter next to Reliterated.
It's only going to be 2 books next chapter.
No, well,
Because we want to get back
we'll
to
do
the
an
Reliterated.
we'll do a Goosebumps. We can do the one that Matt wanted us to do.
You mean an R.L. Stein or just another Goosebumps?
Well, R.L. Because
He
we could
does
do an
write more
R.L.
than just
Stein
Goosebumps.
let's do. Yeah, we could do a Fear Street, but that's kind of the same vein. Or what about doing one of his adult books? But those are longer. Those are like straight up novels.
Fear Street sounds good to me, because I've never read a Fear Street.
Okay, let's do a Fear Street.
Me neither.
We'll
Yeah,
figure
we
out
can
which
touch
one
on
off
Fear,
air.
Fear Street.
So we'll do a Fear Street off air, and then
Who else?
who else do we have?
There's Beverly Cleary, or
Oh yeah, Beverly Cleary, because we did the Mouse and the Motorcycles. So, and I know she has another one.
she's got all kinds of stuff.
Binging it.
I have a list of episodes we've been wanting to do.
Or are there Beverly Cleary?
Hold on, future episodes to do.
Henry Huggins? Is that on the list?
It's not on the list, but it's by Beverly Cleary.
Yeah, I'm looking at a list right now. Ramona Quimby, age 8.
Ramona Quimby, age 8's a strong option, yeah.
Yeah.
Beezus and Ramona. I own that. So I like that one.
Oh, you know what I do own? What the fuck is that book they kept sending me instead of Ralph S. Mouse? Ellen Tebbitts. I have 2 copies of Ellen Tebbitts.
I know. You should have did it one more time. Then we would have had enough.
Yeah, just ordered another copy of Ralph S. Mouse to get Ellen Tebbitts. Or maybe it was Runaway Ralph. I don't know.
Let me see.
But, yeah.
Ellen Tebbitts. Second published book following Henry Huggins. Realistic fiction story. Maybe it's not one of her famous ones. I'd say either
it's
Henry
definitely not one of her
Huggins
more famous ones.
or Beezus and Ramona. I think that's the first Ramona book.
Okay. Let's call it Beezus and Ramona.
Okay. Yeah, it's the first of Cleary's books to focus on Ramona Quimby and her sister Beatrice,
Okay.
known as Beezus. So yeah, okay. So we'll do Beezus and Ramona as well.
Mouse's Castle, Fear Street, Matilda, and Beezus and Ramona.
Yeah. And now you know how the sausage is made, y'all.
And
Not
then
That's
hard.
the way.
for the fifth one, are we gonna try that open-ended choose your own adventure idea?
That.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Put the slide whistle over that,
Yeah,
Andy.
And for the 5th one, we're cooking up an idea that we might want to use.
Pick your path type idea.
Mm.
So something along those lines.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
We'll see how
Don't
it
call
works
us,
out.
we'll call you.
But yeah. All right.
But in the meantime, send your questions and requests to reliterated@gmail.com, and find any of our other social sites on our link tree, linktr.ee/reliterated.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff on I've been cross-posting on Reddit, so you can go check that out.
Trying to pump some lifeblood into this old social media presence here.
I don't really go on social media that much anymore. I've stopped with the TikToks. I never use Twitter, and I rarely visit Facebook now.
Yeah, Twitter's kind of dead.
Well, Twitter, I just never used it in the first place. I had a Twitter, but only so I could see tweets that other people were sending me. I would look at them, and then I stopped even doing that because I was like, I just don't feel like opening up that app. It would sign me out, and I'm like, I don't remember the password.
Not even worth it
I'm
anymore.
a good old contrarian about it.
I'm back on Facebook, but just on the marketplace because I'm trying to sell some shit. So if you're in Chico and you need a dresser and or a circle chair, I'll give you a good deal because you're a listener.
A circle chair?
Yeah, it's a chair and that's a circle. It's fuzzy. And I don't want to take it anywhere other than maybe my brother's house when I move into his apartment for 2 months. So while I travel the West Coast. But anyway.
All right. I think that we have reached our final conclusion, and I think that we would probably continue to run circles around random conversation for 10 more minutes.
Because we're from Michigan. This is how we say goodbye.
Yep.
It has reached a natural conclusion.
So, all right. Well, then let's hit them with the taglines, fellas.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Reliterated. If you want to read along with the books that we're going to be doing next chapter, get to reading now, and you'll know what we're talking about when we get to them. So until next time, give a shit, read some lit.
Bob's your uncle. That's Reliterated.
Thanks, everyone.
I'm rolling now, too.
I will not make a Limp Bizkit reference like I normally do.
Give me some to break. That one?
No,
I always
reference Rollin'.
Why? I don't get the reference.
Rolling on the podcast.
Rolling in the deep.